There's something about silence that hurts more than words ever could, especially when you're waiting, when you've poured your heart into someone and now you're just sitting there, screen lit up, waiting for that one message, that one little notification that says, "You matter." But it doesn't come, and the longer it doesn't come, the louder your mind gets. The doubts start dancing, the anxiety creeps in, and your day? It's no longer yours. You've given it to a person who might not even be thinking about you right now. Hey folks, imagine this. You're standing outside a house, knocking, and you keep knocking. Minutes turn into hours, hours into days, and still no one opens the door. But here's the twist. The door was never locked. It was just that you chose the wrong house, a house where no one's home, or worse, a house where someone is watching through the blinds and still chooses not to answer. That's what waiting for their text is like. You're standing at a door that doesn't open, not because you don't deserve love, but because you're wasting time where no effort is being made in return. My friends, that phone silence you're staring at, it's not a pause, it's a message. It's a statement louder than any "I miss you" could be. And the most dangerous thing is, you're still holding your breath for it to change. Let's break a lie right now. They didn't forget to text you. They chose not to. People remember what matters to them. They prioritize what gives them energy, excitement, connection. So when someone doesn't reach out, it's not because they're busy. It's because right now they've decided you don't sit at the top of their emotional priority list. I know that stings, but the truth doesn't exist to comfort us. It exists to free us. You're not addicted to them. You're addicted to the version of them that existed when things were good. You're holding on to a memory, not a reality, and it's stealing your energy. Like dragging a dead phone around hoping one day it'll turn on without charging it. Stop begging life from something that's already offline. Here's what happens when you keep waiting. You stop building, you stop laughing, you stop creating, you stop being magnetic, because waiting drains your spirit. It turns you into a version of yourself that's always searching and never standing. That's not you. You're not meant to check your phone every 5 minutes to see if someone remembered your existence. You're meant to be so immersed in your purpose that when the phone rings, you don't even notice, because your hands are already full of passion and progress. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." I'll add this. Waste no more time waiting for someone to notice you. Become so powerful they can't ignore you. You've got this. You're more than a missed call, more than a late reply, more than the story your fears are writing for you. And the moment you stop waiting is the moment you start becoming. So do this instead. Rebuild, reclaim, reignite. Because when they finally text you again, you won't even be checking. Say it with me right now, my friends. Drop it in the comments. I choose me. Write it, show it, live it. And don't forget, press that like button, hit subscribe, and stay with me. This is just the beginning. Number 1. Every second you wait, you abandon yourself. The man who kneels at the feet of silence, hoping to be noticed, forgets that kings don't beg for echoes. Let's not sugarcoat it. Every time you wait for them to text back, you're not just sitting idle. You're slowly handing over your power. Every second that ticks by while you're glued to your phone, refreshing your messages, rereading the last conversation, convincing yourself they're just busy. You're not waiting for love. You're waiting for permission. Permission to feel worthy, to feel chosen, to feel alive again. And my friends, that's the trap. You think you're being patient. But let me hit you with this. Patience is when you wait for something real. What you're doing, that's self-abandonment dressed up as hope. Imagine this. A powerful warrior drops his sword, sits by the roadside, and waits for a letter from an enemy to tell him he's still strong. That's what many of you are doing. You're warriors. You've survived heartbreak, betrayal, silence, confusion. And yet here you are, waiting for a message from someone who couldn't even be honest enough to show up. And I get it. I really do. Because that silence, it messes with you. It whispers all the worst questions. Did I do something wrong? Were they just pretending the whole time? Are they texting someone else right now instead of me? Was I not enough? These questions aren't harmless. They aren't just emotional background noise. They reshape your identity if you let them. Because the more you wait, the more you start to believe that something is wrong with you. Not with the situation, not with their character, with you. And that's the lie we have to tear apart right here, right now. They're not texting you back. That's not your failure. It's their truth. A truth they don't have the courage to say out loud. And your silence while waiting isn't making things better. It's making you smaller, softer, hungrier for crumbs. Here's what no one tells you. Every moment you wait for their message, you are messaging yourself. You're sending a signal to your own nervous system. I am not enough unless they validate me. And that is poison, quiet poison, the kind that doesn't scream. It just drains you. Marcus Aurelius would have torn this kind of thinking to shreds because he believed in mastery over emotion, not slavery to it. He believed a man or woman who depends on others to define their peace is already defeated. The Stoics didn't wait for the world to approve them. They built a fortress inside themselves, so unshakable that silence couldn't even find the door. So what does this mean for you right now while your heart aches and your phone remains silent? It means you have two options. Option one, stay frozen. Keep checking. Keep hoping. Let days blur into nights while you hold your breath waiting for a buzz that might never come. Option two, stand up. Walk away from the door that won't open, not with bitterness, but with boldness. Because every time you reclaim a second of your life, a second of your energy, a second of your joy, you are telling your mind, I matter, with or without them. Yes, it'll be hard at first. You'll feel tempted to check. You'll feel like walking away means giving up. But let me be crystal clear. Walking away from waiting isn't giving up on love. It's giving up on self-neglect. There's a difference. You're not cold. You're not heartless. You're just done sitting in the dark waiting for someone else to bring the match. You've got the fire. It's always been there. You've just forgotten how to use it. Your energy is sacred. Your time is sacred. And if someone isn't matching that, it's not your job to lower yourself to be understood. It's their job to rise if they want to reach you. And here's the twist. Once you stop waiting, that's when they usually come back. Why? Because they feel the shift. The silence changes tone. You're no longer a question mark in their mind. You become a full stop, a mystery, a force they can't control. And that's when the regret sets in. That's when your power returns. But you're not doing it for them anymore. You're doing it for you. My friends, stop being a prisoner to their inconsistency. Start becoming the reason they question their decision to ever let you go. And it starts not with revenge, not with games, but with reclaiming the hours you're losing to silence. Say this with me right now. Type it in the comments. Shout it to your reflection. Etch it into your spine. I stop waiting. I start living. Write it. Show it. Show yourself. Show the world around you that your life does not pause for someone else's uncertainty. And stay with me. Because what's coming next will change how you see this whole game forever. Number 2, the text isn't the real addiction, hope is. The most dangerous drug isn't love, it's the hope that someone will finally give it back. Let's go a little deeper, my friends, because this thing you think you're addicted to, this habit of staring at your phone, this cycle of waiting and wishing, it's not about the text. It's not even about them. It's about hope. The kind of hope that's been weaponized against your peace. The kind of hope that keeps you checking your phone every 10 minutes, even when you promised yourself you wouldn't. The kind of hope that whispers, maybe today they'll remember me. But let's stop right there and ask a harder question. Would the message, if it came, even be enough? What if they do text you? You'd feel good for what? 10 minutes, maybe an hour. Then what? That same anxious voice comes crawling back. Why did they stop again? Are they still interested? Are they texting someone else too? You're not addicted to the person. You're addicted to momentary relief from your own insecurity. That's what false hope does. It gives you sugar when your soul needs real food. You get a hit of dopamine. The 3 little dots appear. Your heart races. You feel seen. But then, just as quickly, the silence returns. And you're left emptier than before. It's not the absence of their text that hurts you. It's the roller coaster of expectation, then disappointment, then expectation again. That's the real poison. That's the real trap. Hope becomes the leash, and you become the dog, trained to sit by the door, tail wagging, every time you think you hear footsteps. Let me paint you a picture. Imagine you're starving, absolutely starving, and every time you think you're about to be fed, someone shows up and tosses you a crumb. Just one, just enough to keep you from leaving. That's how they keep you hooked. Not by nourishing you, but by giving you just enough to keep you alive in the cage. Now here's the scary part. You don't even realize it's a cage anymore, because when you live on crumbs long enough, you start to believe that crumbs are a feast. You start saying things like, "At least they responded," or "At least they still think of me sometimes." Folks, sometimes is not love, sometimes is not consistency, and sometimes is not what you deserve. Stoicism doesn't tell you to stop feeling. It tells you to stop depending. It tells you that you are responsible for your own reactions, your own peace, your own life. It doesn't care how long you've waited or how much you've invested. It asks only one question. Are you free or are you not? Because if your peace is controlled by someone else's thumbs on a screen, then no, you're not free. You're enslaved to the idea that maybe they'll change, maybe they'll come back, maybe they'll finally love you like you love them. Here's a truth most people avoid, that maybe is killing your present moment. You can't live fully now because you're fantasizing about a future that exists only in your head. And while you're stuck in that dream, guess what? They're out living. They're not checking their phone every 5 seconds. They're not rereading old texts. You are. It's time to rip the Band-Aid off. It's time to see the hope for what it is. Not a light at the end of the tunnel, but a projector you keep pointing at a blank wall. You keep waiting for a happy ending that only you are writing. And let's be honest, if they really cared, they wouldn't leave you guessing in the first place. You don't need hope. You need clarity. And clarity doesn't come from what they do. It comes from what you accept. Accept that they haven't texted. Accept that they could, but they didn't. Accept that silence is also an answer, and that sometimes the loudest no in the world doesn't come from words, but from absence. And before your mind starts screaming, but what if they're just going through something? Or what if they're scared to reach out? Pause. Just pause, because those are the stories we tell ourselves to avoid the truth. And the truth is, if someone truly values you, they make the effort. Maybe not perfectly, maybe not instantly, but consistently. What if I told you that breaking this cycle isn't about deleting their number or blocking them out of spite? What if I told you it's about detaching from the illusion that their text is going to heal what's hurting inside of you, because it won't? You know what will? Waking up tomorrow and choosing yourself. Filling your own hours with something more powerful than hope. Intention. You can learn, you can build, you can move, you can laugh, you can grow, but only when you stop waiting and start choosing. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to look at your phone, not with desperation, but with decision. If the message comes, fine. If it doesn't, also fine. Because your life is not on hold anymore. You are not a backup plan. You are not a waiting room. You are the whole damn house. Say it with me. Type it in the comments. Loud, bold, true. No more waiting. I am the answer. Write it. Show it. Show yourself. Show the world around you what it looks like when someone breaks free from the addiction of false hope. And stay with me, because what's coming next will show you how to turn silence into power and distance into peace. We're just getting started. Number 3. You think they're in control, but they're just silent. Silence isn't strength when it's used to confuse. It's weakness pretending to be power. Let's get something straight, folks. The silence you're experiencing, the delay, the unread messages, the absence of calls, it feels powerful because it's unanswered. It feels like they're the one holding all the cards, like they're perched above you, deciding when and if you deserve their attention. But what if I told you that's not power? What if I told you silence in this case isn't a strategy? It's a symptom of someone who doesn't know what they want. Or worse, someone who knows exactly what they're doing and is using your overthinking as their control panel. It's funny how silence turns into a script in our minds. When someone ghosts us, we don't just hear nothing. We start hearing everything. Our mind fills in the blanks. Maybe they're busy. Maybe they're hurt. Maybe they don't know how to express themselves. But the truth is simple, raw, and brutal. They're just not communicating. You think that means they're strong, stoic, controlled. Nah, my friends. Don't confuse silence with Stoicism. Marcus Aurelius didn't teach us to avoid. He taught us to confront, to act, to live in alignment with our values. Silence, when it's used to avoid responsibility, isn't power. It's a mask, and a flimsy one at that. Imagine this. You walk into a dark room and someone is standing in the corner, refusing to look at you, refusing to speak. They're still there, but they say nothing. Do they look powerful to you? Or do they look afraid? That's what you're really dealing with. Not a mastermind, not an emotionally evolved wizard, just a person who's scared to be honest, scared to commit, scared to confront what you represent. Truth. Because truth demands action. And people who go silent when it matters most are usually running from the one thing they fear more than losing you, being seen for who they really are. You ever notice how they disappear when you start getting closer, when things get deeper? That's not an accident, that's a pattern. They ghost, they pull back, they need space, not because you're too much, but because they're not enough. At least not yet. They can't hold what you're offering, so they go mute and hope you'll interpret it as mystery. Let me break another lie while we're here. You think they have the upper hand because they're not speaking, but silence in this case isn't dominance, it's defense. It's the behavior of someone who doesn't know how to be vulnerable, but still wants to feel important. Here's a quote I want you to tattoo on your mind. Those who go silent to punish don't want peace. They want power without presence. Think about that. This isn't them healing. It's not them meditating on your connection. It's them creating distance while keeping the door cracked just enough to walk back in, if they ever feel like it. But guess what? That door swings both ways. And the minute you realize you're not stuck behind it, that you can walk away at any moment, you become the one in control. Not because you're trying to dominate, but because you've finally stopped needing their noise or their silence to feel whole. People who truly care don't disappear. They don't watch your messages pile up while they scroll through social media. They don't vanish for days and come back like nothing happened. They show up, they speak, they explain, they meet you halfway. And if they don't, that's your answer. Stop twisting yourself into emotional origami, trying to interpret someone else's cowardice as wisdom. They're not too spiritual to text back. They're not too busy healing. They're just choosing not to speak. That's not enlightenment. That's avoidance. And deep down, you know this. You can feel it in your gut. The uneasiness, the pit in your stomach, the shame of making excuses for someone who wouldn't make half the effort for you. You try to rationalize it because the idea that someone is just done with you without explanation is almost too painful to accept. But that's where your power begins, in acceptance. in seeing the silence not as some grand cosmic sign to wait, but as your permission slip to move the hell on. You want to know what real strength looks like. It's not silence, it's clarity. It's someone who can say, "This isn't working for me," instead of disappearing. It's you, sitting with the discomfort of unanswered questions and still choosing to build anyway. Because here's the truth. You are not powerless unless you keep giving your power away. You are not their puppet. You are not their backup. You are not their emotional safety net. You are a force, but only if you stop sitting in the shadows waiting for a ghost to speak. Let me ask you something. Who's really in control here? The one who speaks clearly and walks away with integrity? Or the one who hides behind silence, hoping you'll keep chasing? Exactly. Now take a breath. I know this truth stings, but don't numb it. Let it sharpen you. Let it teach you what kind of energy you will no longer accept in your life. Because here's the final truth. They don't have control unless you believe they do. That belief is the only chain left. Break it, shatter it, and when you do, you'll realize they never had power in the first place, just access. And that access, you can revoke it, starting now. Say this with me and write it in the comments. Silence doesn't control me, I reclaim my voice. Write it, show it, show yourself. Show the world that their silence is not your script. And stay with me, because what comes next will teach you how to stop reacting and start ruling. Number 4, distraction isn't healing, it's noise. Numbness is not peace, and busyness is not healing. It's just a prettier way to bleed. Let's get into it, folks, because this is where most people fool themselves. You've probably heard the advice 100 times. Just distract yourself, right? Go hang out with friends, binge watch something, keep your mind busy, do anything to not think about them. And sure, for a while it might work. You might even laugh a little, scroll, snack, smile. But deep down, you know the truth. You're not healing, you're hiding. There's a big difference between movement and progress. And what a lot of people call moving on is just emotional dodging. They're filling their schedule, but not their soul. They're surrounding themselves with people, but still feeling painfully alone. Because distraction doesn't treat the wound, it just turns down the volume, temporarily. Let me give you a metaphor, my friends. Imagine there's a crack in the foundation of your home, and instead of fixing it, you blast music loud enough to drown out the creaking sounds. That's what distraction is. It's not repair, it's noise, and no matter how loud you make it, the crack gets wider. Until one day, the whole damn thing collapses. And some of you, if we're being honest, are right there, collapsing quietly. Laughing on the outside while screaming on the inside. You're out with people, phone in your pocket, pretending to be present. But you feel that itch, don't you? That magnetic pull to check, to see if they texted, to see if those 3 little dots are typing. You can't even enjoy the moment because you're haunted by what isn't happening. That's not living, that's surviving in disguise. You think you're getting over them, but what you're really doing is pressing pause on the pain. And every time you stop and sit in silence again, it all comes flooding back. That hollow feeling, that tightness in your chest, that whisper, they still haven't reached out. And that's when it hits you. I didn't heal, I just stayed busy. Now let me say something tough, but necessary. Healing isn't always productive. It's not about doing more. It's about facing what's real. The grief, the confusion, the disappointment, the anger, the sadness, the part of you that still wants answers, closure, attention. Healing doesn't come in the form of "let me keep moving." It comes when you stop running and finally sit with yourself. Seneca once said, "No man is more unhappy than he who never faces adversity, for he is not permitted to prove himself." Let me adapt that for your situation. No heart is more unsettled than the one that keeps avoiding itself. You keep running from the mirror, hoping your reflection will change without you actually showing up. You know what distraction does? It delays the growth. It pushes back the confrontation you need to have with your thoughts, with your patterns, with the part of you that keeps giving your power to someone who won't even give you a moment of their time. And this might sting, but some of you don't want to heal. You just want to feel better, quickly, comfortably, quietly. But healing doesn't work like that. It's messy, it's raw, and yeah, it's boring sometimes. It doesn't come with dopamine rushes. It comes with stillness, with reflection, with tears that don't have an audience. But here's the flip side. Once you stop distracting yourself and start doing the work, something incredible happens. You start to rebuild, not your ego, not your identity that was tied to them, but your real foundation. The part of you that doesn't need noise to feel whole, the part of you that finds peace in silence, because silence no longer feels like abandonment, it feels like clarity. This is the moment you start choosing depth over distraction. When instead of scrolling to forget, you sit down and write. When instead of calling someone just to feel wanted, you walk outside and reconnect with your own presence. When instead of filling your calendar with things to keep you busy, you empty your schedule just to breathe again, to feel again, fully. Because healing isn't an escape route, it's a return to yourself. And I know it's scary, because when the distractions are gone, what's left? Just you, just the thoughts, just the emotions. But you're stronger than you think. You've already survived so much. You've been through heartbreak, silence, confusion, and you're still standing. Don't disrespect your journey by rushing to cover it up with temporary comfort. You want real peace? Then do this. Replace distraction with direction. Choose something meaningful, not just anything to kill time, but something that grows you. A passion, a skill, a goal that forces you to dig deeper, not to forget them, but to remember yourself. Because when your life is built on meaning, not movement, that's when the healing finally sticks. That's when you stop checking your phone in the middle of a conversation. That's when you stop needing to be seen by them, because you see yourself now, fully, boldly, honestly. So let me ask you, are you actually healing? Or are you just hiding behind distraction? Are you moving forward or just moving around? It's time to stop numbing and start nurturing, to stop escaping and start engaging with your pain, with your truth, with your power. Say it with me right now. Drop it in the comments so the world can hear you. I choose depth over distraction. Write it, show yourself. Show the world around you that you are no longer running from the silence. You are rising through it. And stay with me, because the next shift is where you stop needing their message and start building a life so powerful they'd feel lucky just to witness it. Number 5. Build the life that makes their message irrelevant. You won't need closure when your life becomes the proof that you outgrew the conversation. Let's shift now, my friends. Let's shift from what they didn't do to what you are about to become. Because if you're still sitting there wondering why they haven't reached out, if you're still checking your phone like it's a sacred ritual, if you're still hoping that one simple hey will fix what they shattered, you're not in love, you're in limbo. And limbo is a place where dreams go to rot. That's not where you belong. What if I told you the goal isn't to get the text? It's to get to a place where their message means nothing. Where their sudden, I miss you hits your phone and you just smile, not because you want them back, but because you finally don't need them anymore. That's the goal, that's the freedom, not revenge, not cold-heartedness, not pretending you don't care, but becoming so deeply fulfilled in your own life that even if they walked back in today with flowers, an apology, and a playlist of all your favorite songs, you'd still think twice. Not from bitterness, from evolution. Let me give you a metaphor. Imagine your life is a city under construction. Right now, it might feel like a mess. Cranes in the sky, roads half finished, a bit of dust in the air. And every day, You're tempted to pause the rebuild just to check if they've noticed. But here's what you don't realize. The more you build, the less you care who's watching. Because one day, that city is going to shine. The lights will turn on, the skyline will be breathtaking, and anyone who didn't want to help lay bricks. They don't get to move in when the work is done. This isn't about proving your worth to them. It's about proving your presence to yourself, because your value was never supposed to hang on a read receipt. It was never meant to depend on someone's emotional consistency. That was never the measure. The real test is, can you still rise when they go quiet? Can you still build when they stop showing up? Can you still evolve when it feels like the world forgot your name? I know what you're thinking. But how? How do I build when I feel broken? That's the fear. That's the voice trying to keep you small. And you're going to have to answer it with action, not perfection, not clarity, not a 5-year plan, just motion, one small, consistent motion forward. Pick something, a skill, a discipline, a project, a mission, something that demands your focus, your hands, your presence, not to forget them, but to remember you. You don't even have to know where it'll lead. Just start. Because here's what happens when you get immersed in your own life. You become magnetic. And not because you're trying to attract anyone, but because presence is power. Purpose is power. People are drawn to those who have fire behind their eyes, not desperation in their fingers waiting for someone to type back. They say, energy doesn't lie, right? Well, the energy of someone who's rebuilding themselves is undeniable. It shifts conversations, it shifts dynamics, it shifts outcomes. And let's be real, if they texted you right now, in this moment, would you really be ready, or would you just collapse into that message like a lifeline, letting it steal all your progress? That's why you build. So when the message does come, and it probably will, it won't shake you. It won't define you. It'll just be a moment, not a mission. And maybe they won't come back. That's real too. But the version of you that you're about to become, that version won't be waiting for apologies. They'll be too far ahead. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." So start thinking like the future you. Start seeing your life not as something that's on pause, but as something under divine construction. Start feeding your spirit with things that don't depend on someone else's attention span. You'll notice something incredible happens. The more you build, the less you crave. The more you build, the less you chase. The more you build, the more you attract. Not just people, but moments, alignment, peace. And when you look around at the life you've built, not the fantasy in your head, but the reality you've carved with your own hands, you'll realize, I would never trade this just to hear from someone who couldn't stay consistent. This is where you become dangerous in the best way. Not because you've turned cold, but because you've turned inward. Because you've redefined what power looks like. Not loud, not dramatic, not petty, but calm, full, focused. That's the kind of energy that makes people look back and say, how did I ever lose them? And that's the kind of energy that makes you look forward and say, I finally found me. So stop checking the phone. Start checking in with your mission. Stop waiting for them to remember you. Start remembering who you are. Say it with me. Type it in the comments so your nervous system hears it loud and clear. I build, I rise, I don't wait. Write it. Show it. Show yourself. Show the world around you what it looks like when a soul chooses evolution over ego, self-worth over silence, direction over distraction. And stay with me, because what comes next? That's where we flip the entire emotional power dynamic. We're not done yet. We're just getting dangerous. Number 6, stillness is your power. Silence is your weapon. A lion doesn't announce itself in the jungle, it just moves and everything listens. All right, my friends, let's talk about something that most people fear more than heartbreak, more than rejection, more than the breakup itself. It's the one thing that keeps them fidgeting, overthinking, checking, typing, and deleting. One thing that most people can't sit with, not even for a few minutes. Silence, not the kind where you're ignoring them to make them chase, not the kind where you ghost people because your ego's bruised. I'm talking about sacred silence, strategic stillness, that ancient Stoic kind of silence that doesn't come from bitterness. It comes from inner command. Most people have been trained to believe that silence is weak, that if you're not speaking, not texting, not proving your side of the story, not defending your name, then you're losing, you're slipping, they're forgetting you. But let me break that lie for you right now. Silence is not weakness, not when it's chosen, not when it's rooted in clarity. In fact, silence is the most intimidating language you'll ever speak, because silence, when done right, makes people confront themselves. And most people, let's be honest, they're terrified of their own reflection. Think of it like this. Imagine you walk into a room filled with noise, chaos, opinions, arguments. Everyone's shouting to be heard, but in the corner, there's someone who says nothing, no reaction, no performance, just stillness, just presence. You know who draws the most attention? Them. Why? Because silence holds mystery, and mystery makes people uncomfortable. It creates space, and in that space, people start to feel things. They start to wonder, why aren't they chasing me? Why didn't they respond? Are they over me? Are they doing better without me? Your silence becomes their mirror, and if they can't handle what they see, they'll blame your stillness for their storm. Let them. You don't need to explain the silence. You own it. That's where your power is. Now I know. It's not easy. When your heart is screaming, when your fingers are itching to type, when your mind is writing entire essays that you'll never send. It feels like silence is doing nothing, like it's wasting time. Like maybe if I just say one more thing, they'll finally understand. They'll finally come back. They'll finally realize what they lost. But here's the truth. Every time you speak just to be heard, you dilute your value. Every time you break your silence just to get a reaction, you shrink your energy. You become predictable, accessible, and easy to ignore. But when you sit in stillness, when you don't react, don't chase, don't explain, you become the one thing they can't control. And that drives people crazy, not because they hate you, but because they can't read you anymore. And here's where it gets spiritual. Silence isn't just about them, it's about you. Because silence isn't empty, it's full of everything you've been giving away too easily. Your peace, your energy, your voice, your dignity. Stillness is the space where your soul breathes again. It's the space where you begin to hear yourself clearly for the first time in weeks, maybe even months. And when you master that stillness, something powerful starts to happen. You don't need them to respond anymore. You don't need them to explain why they left, or why they act cold, or why they started pulling away. You already know. You feel it, and that knowing is louder than any apology they could ever give. Marcus Aurelius said, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." So if they left with silence, let your silence be different. Let yours be calm, steady, healing. Let yours say, "I don't need to chase what knows where I am." This is what real control looks like. Not manipulation, not games, but detachment. When your silence is no longer a tactic, but a way of being, you've elevated. You've graduated from emotional survival to emotional sovereignty. They don't need to understand why you're silent. That's the beauty of it. Your silence isn't for them, it's for you. It's your shield, your boundary. Your declaration that not everything needs a response, not every insult needs attention, not every distance needs closure. Let me ask you this, seriously. How many times have you said too much, explained too much, given them insight into every part of your mind? And what did it get you? A breadcrumb of attention, a short reply, a temporary high followed by more silence. That's the game. They stay quiet. You panic, you speak. They get power. You lose yours. But now, we rewrite that pattern. Because your stillness, your sacred, unmoved, unapologetic stillness, isn't weakness. It's proof. Proof that you are no longer reacting to crumbs. Proof that you are holding yourself with the same value you used to beg them to see. Let me leave you with this image. A mountain doesn't chase the wind. It doesn't yell at the clouds. It stands, rooted, immovable, silent. And because of that silence, everything revolves around it. That's what you become when you master this art. A storm can't shake you. A message, or lack of one, doesn't change your worth. You're no longer a question mark waiting for their answer. You are the full stop. Say it with me now, in your chest, in your bones, and drop it in the comments like it's a vow to yourself. My silence is sacred. Write it, show yourself. Show the world around you that you don't need noise to prove your strength. You just need presence. You just need stillness. And stay with me, because what's coming next will shake everything you thought you knew about your worth. The next part will expose the lie you've been living under and set you free for good. Number 7, your worth was never on read. The value of gold doesn't drop just because someone walked past it. Let's bring this home, my friends, because this is where people tend to collapse. Not when the message is left on read, not when they go days without a word, but in the silence that follows, in the dark space where the brain starts making up reasons that sound logical but are soaked in pain. You start telling yourself that maybe you're not enough, that maybe they lost interest because you lacked something, beauty, depth, charm, value. And that's the most dangerous lie of all, that their silence means something is wrong with you. But here's what they don't tell you. Their lack of reply isn't a reflection of your worth. It's a reflection of their capacity. The kind of love they're capable of giving. The kind of consistency they can or cannot offer. And if you keep tying your value to their behavior, you're going to keep bleeding every time someone pulls away. It's time to untangle your self-worth from their absence, because your value does not exist in their inbox. It exists in your essence, in how you show up for yourself when no one else does, in how you rebuild without applause, in how you still love even when love isn't being returned. Imagine walking into an art gallery and seeing a one-of-a-kind masterpiece on the wall, stunning, layered, textured, full of depth. Now imagine someone walks right past it without looking. Does the art lose its value? No. The passerby just didn't know how to see. And that's what many of you are dealing with. You've been seen by people who don't know how to look. You've been heard by people who don't know how to listen. And now you're questioning the art when you should be questioning the viewer. Let me say this directly. You are not the reason they vanished. You are not the cause of their coldness. They didn't go silent because you were too much. They went silent because they were too little. And you giving your power away to that absence is like giving your crown to a ghost. Their silence is not a verdict, it's a void, and you don't belong in it. The Stoics knew this long before phones existed. Marcus Aurelius didn't talk about likes and texts, but he knew what it meant to seek validation from external things. The opinion of 10,000 men is of no value if none of them know you. Let me remix that for you. The message from one person who never saw your soul is not a reason to forget your light. You've been handing over the keys to your confidence every time someone leaves your message on read, and it's time to change that. Because here's the truth you've been avoiding. You never needed them to text back. You needed you to stand up, to stop scrolling through old conversations, to stop rereading messages like they're sacred scripture, to stop assigning meaning to silence, as if love ever needed to play hide and seek. You are the love you've been waiting for. You are the closure you've been begging for. And once you stop tying your worth to their behavior, their silence becomes nothing more than silence, powerless, empty. You might still be thinking, But what if they come back? And that's fine. Let them. But when they do, they should meet a version of you that doesn't flinch, that doesn't lean forward, that doesn't get excited over breadcrumbs. Let them come back to a person so full, so focused, so far evolved that they no longer recognize who they once ghosted. Because that's real transformation, not pretending to not care, but actually reaching a place where their message is irrelevant. This is the shift. This is where you stop looking at your phone for a sign that you matter, and you start looking at your life. Are you showing up in a way that reflects your value? Are you building something with your hands, your mind, your soul? Are you moving forward or just staying frozen, hoping for validation that never arrives? You don't need another message. You need momentum. So take the pressure off. Let them think what they want. Let them do what they do. You're no longer available for emotional crumbs. You're preparing a feast for your future. And trust me, when you reach that place, when you've rebuilt from the silence, they will feel it. They might not say anything, but they will sense that shift, that distance, that power, because energy never lies, and the moment you detach from their voice, yours finally gets louder. Say it now, out loud, in your bones, in your body. Then write it in the comments like a war cry. I was never on read. I was always on rise. Let that be the sentence that ends the chapter. Let that be your reminder every time the silence creeps in. You weren't forgotten. You weren't invisible. You were just waiting to remember your own voice. So write it, show yourself, show the world around you that your worth was never up for negotiation, never tied to a text, never dependent on someone else's timing. You are here. You are whole. And you are not waiting anymore. And if this message stirred something in you, if it helped you reclaim even 1 inch of your voice, then press that like button. Subscribe, stay with me, because this wasn't just a healing, this was a rebirth. And you, my friend, are just getting started.